Well, welcome to episode 3 of the Ultimate Football Show podcast. My name is Chris and we're rocking along now into the Qatar World Cup 2022 as we look at match day number 3. There are 4 games to look forward to today on match day 3. We'll hear from regular contributor and former Chelsea and Brighton footballer Gary Chivers, as well as some very special guests once again. Now, we're happy to support the lilywhitefoundation.com, advancing young people through sport. For more information, simply visit their website, lilywhitefoundation.com. So the headlines, it's a massive blow for France once again. This time striker Karim Benzema, he's got injured and he's going to miss the whole of the World Cup. They've already lost another striker, so really bad luck for the French. Now, that means that he's out, and that's my selection for top scorers, so I'm going to have to change my mind and go with Vinicius Jr. from Brazil as top scorer in the tournament. Now, Germany's coach, Hansi Flick, he's looking like he's going to choose Kai Havertz as a false number 9, alongside 2 Bayern Munich wingers. We've got Serge Gnabry, used to play for Arsenal, Leroy Sané, used to play for Manchester City. Both of them play for Bayern Munich, as does 19-year-old Jamal Musiala. Watch out for him in the German team. He's likely to get a game. He's a real exciting talent, and he's certainly one to watch for in this World Cup. You're listening to the Ultimate Football Show podcast with Gary Chivers and Chris Barnett. Match day 3 then. What a fantastic day this could be for goals. We've got Argentina, Poland and France all on the same day. Argentina with Messi, obviously, Poland with Lewandowski, and France with Mbappé and Benzema. Out of all of those, if you wanted one for your Premier League team, who would you be choosing? And I know they're at different stages of their career, but sort of at their very best, who would you be going for? I mean, obviously Messi's slightly above everybody else, isn't he? In most people.
But he has to do it all on his own, doesn't he? When he plays for Argentina, I do think at times he tries possibly too hard, because all of a sudden they give the ball to him, and I don't see many people running off the ball as soon as he gets the ball. But I think
now he's got a lot more support, hasn't he? He's got Julian Alvarez from Manchester City, he's got Paulo Dybala from Rome in the team as well. Di Maria is in the squad as well. They've got a few more. We've got McAllister as well in there from Brighton. They've got more players now. Whereas in the past it was Maradona in his era, and it was then Messi in his era. And one player we saw that when Pelé played, he had fantastic players around him, didn't he? Messi hasn't had that, but I think now he might have a much better squad around him.
And I think the feeling as well, I mean, obviously it's his last World Cup as well, so he'd be wanting to finish really, really on a high. But he's been such a terrific professional, but a terrific guy,
So Argentina, they play Saudi Arabia. That's the early kick-off on match day 3. Can't see anything else than an Argentinian win there, can you? Really?
No, that's going to be a walk in the park. I'll be very, very, very surprised.
How amazing is it to see Christian Eriksen, first of all, A, playing football for a Premier League team, and B, in the Denmark team playing in the World Cup after what happened to him? You just can't really believe it, can you? He must be superhuman.
Superhuman, but what a guy. I mean, what happened to him was quite incredible. And for him then to lay low, and obviously the recovery was over 9 months? Was it 10 months? Nearly a year. But having that in you to come back and play football again, it was something else. He could have just sat at home, put his feet up, not play football again. He
could have become a coach overnight, couldn't he?
No, but do you know what I mean? Straight away, someone, and all of a sudden, which I loved about him, he went to Brentford and he proved it at Brentford. He went there, played in not a fashionable, what you call a fashionable side, but done really, really well for him. And then, do you know what? I remember being down Chelsea, and all these Danish guys turning up just to see Eriksen. It was brilliant.
Yeah.
And he's done well going to Man United. So it'd be brilliant if he has a fantastic World Cup.
So Denmark take on Tunisia, Mexico, Poland. If you're a Polish football player and you're walking around the shops, unless you're Lewandowski, no one knows who you are, do they?
No. Another pivotal player for them. I mean, without them, they've got no chance. But they could be the dark horses, you know. They really could. There'll be a dark horse team there where you can pick out someone to pick out and go, and all of a sudden they'll do really, really well. And there'll be a team at the top that does really, because it happens every 4 years for us.
The final game on Matchday 3 in the evening is France against Australia. And that's the kind of game France are going to mess up, isn't it? I mean, you know, they're expected to win. They're going to go out there all guns blazing, and then Australia 1-0. You can just see the commentary. It's 1-0 to Australia. What's happened? Where was
do you know what? You look at it. Yeah, where's the goalkeeper going? What's he doing? Where's the back four going? But they should walk that game. When you think about it, you know, they really should. Looking at their side, their forwards, their midfield, their defenders. Yeah, that's going to be. I'll be very, very surprised if they lose that.
No surprise in that one. Then it's going to be a France win.
100%, 100%. Obviously, if I'm wrong, don't come back after me. By the way.
No, if you're wrong, you don't come back. I think that's usually how it works.
I'm Gary Chivers. You're listening to the Ultimate Football Show podcast.
Time now to hear for some more of the footy experts, starting with Frank Khalid, who's a London-based businessman and entrepreneur. We spoke about the France squad, who will be missing the likes of Paul Pogba and N'Golo Kante, and just how big that loss could be for the French team.
It's a massive loss to them. I know they've got some promising youngsters who will probably come in and probably cover those positions, but losing N'Golo Kante, you can see what effect it's had on Chelsea. Forget about anyone else. Since he was injured against Spurs, it's been downhill spiral for us, hasn't it, really? Pogba, another big player. They will miss him. How they'll do, they've still got enough great players in the team to do well, but I don't think they're up there with the favourites. I think Brazil, Argentina, for me, are the two favourites.
They've just lost Nkunku as well. The Leipzig player got injured in training just before the World Cup. But they've got, Mbappé, Griezmann, Giroud. They've got Benzema as well. They've got some pretty good strikers, but you got to have an all-round team, haven't you? Really, in the World Cup when it's over 5 weeks, you've got to stay at the top of your game, and not all players can do that all the time.
100%, you're right. Yeah, you're right. I think they've got enough firepower, but if you don't have that ball winner in the middle of the team, then it could be a problem. I know they've got promising youngsters, the two that play at Real Madrid. So perhaps they've got that covered, but the experience was important just as much as probably the ability.
I also asked Frank his thoughts on who he'd like to have in his team from the big three strikers. They're all due to play on Matchday 3. We've got Robert Lewandowski, Kylian Mbappé, and of course, the one and only Lionel Messi.
I would go with Lionel Messi, and I'll tell you why. I don't really want to point the blame on our strikers because the service has been non-existent. So ideally having a player that can go past players, be clever enough to create space and score at the same time. I mean, Lionel Messi is the player we want at this current moment. We've got no creativity and we need it. And I think someone like that would do that and score goals and do his magic, score from free kicks. He would take the pressure off the defence, get the ball. He'd probably be the nearest thing to Eden Hazard, what he used to do, but better. Someone that can score goals. Yeah, he would be the ideal person. Saying that, I don't really watch a lot of the French football these days, so I don't know how he's performing. The stats look all great and all that, but we'll get a better idea in this World Cup how good he is against the best.
The opposition's not great in Ligue 1. It's not fantastic, is it? We all know that, and I think even the owners of Paris Saint-Germain know that. Really, that's why they want to win the Champions League.
Absolutely. No, you're right. Oh, I still go Lionel Messi based on his previous what he's done for Barcelona, and the fact that he's still got that magic in him. He's still got that thing about him. And every time I see him, even the highlights, when you see the highlights in the Champions League and you see how he plays, and very clever player. He's one that actually uses his head, uses his skill, and he's still got that ability.
I'm Gary Chivers.
I'm Chris Barnett.
And this is the Ultimate Football Show podcast.
Well, both Gary and Frank, they're choosing Lionel Messi, and it'd be hard to disagree with them, wouldn't it really? Let's ask American-based Feroze Ali who he'd have leading his team out of those three superstar strikers.
Oh, this is tough. I would. You could answer anything, but I would say Messi for me. Probably Messi.
Yeah. You've agreed with the other two. Both have gone for Messi so far. Yeah,
Messi, because you just know this World Cup you're gonna witness something special by this Argentinian. You just know it because it's gonna be his last World Cup. Ideally, of course, England doing really well would be good. Same thing for Canada. I have a soft spot for England too. But ideally, I know you're going to hate me for saying this. I just want, because this is a possibility. I just want a Portugal versus Argentina final with Ronaldo and Messi. Just, that being there, that will just be like the pinnacle of football. Because the winner of that will, it's just because he actually mentioned Pierce. People have opinions on him, but Pierce Morgan, just for his interview on Ronaldo, he just told Ronaldo, "Oh, how ideal would it be if it's an Argentina-Portugal final and you score 2, he scores 2?" He's like, he would retire if this happens. That's how magical it would be,
So you're going to go with Messi, and you're going to go with a Portugal-Argentina final. Oh, what a combination that would be. Yes. Is there a surprise team that we could expect? I know you're hoping Canada. Is there a team that might surprise everyone? A lot of people are thinking Uruguay will play well. Argentina have got a good squad now, and with Messi around them. What about Holland or something like that? Is there a surprise team, or even someone further down the list maybe?
Oh, Holland are in form, so that could be a shout. I think the favorites, because I was having this discussion with a couple of people the other day. I don't remember the last time a team won the World Cup that were not the favorites in terms of like the top 3, top 4 teams, right?
Yeah.
Or should I say, like in the Euros, it happens once in a while, right? Like Greece won it, I think, in 2004.
Yeah, Denmark won it a few years ago as well, didn't they?
Exactly. So I really think a surprise team, I don't know if it's a surprise, but Croatia, they can once again go to the final because they are semifinal. They're doing really well.
Yeah.
But other than that, I think Canada, I know bias is going to kick in. I think Canada's going to surprise and make out of the group. And our group is like really tough. It's super tough. I think it's gonna just because I don't rate Belgium anymore. I don't think they're that good. Unless hopefully if Canada don't make the group, I just want Hazard to do good in the tournament. That would be nice.
Do you think Eden Hazard's on his way out of Madrid next year and will go somewhere that he deserves to flourish once again as he did at Stamford Bridge a few years ago?
I mean, Newcastle are linked with him right now, and he just did an interview a few days ago. It wouldn't surprise me in January if he's off because he's not playing. He's on a high salary over there. He doesn't want to stay, and I don't think Real want him either. So it'll make the most sense if they part their ways. But who knows? I really think the whole in terms of who's going to win the whole thing. Even though I was saying an ideal final would be Argentina versus Portugal, I think Brazil is going to take the whole thing.
Okay, you agree with me. So a bit of sense at the end. You got rid of the heart feelings for Canada, and you've gone with the head for Brazil.
Yes, 100%. Brazil's team is really strong right now.
All three going for Lionel Messi. They are experts after all. Well, we're happy to support the lilywhitefoundation.com. advancing young people through sport. For more information, visit their website, lilywhitefoundation.com. You're listening to the Ultimate Football Show podcast with Gary Chivers. Well, that's it for episode 3. Can't wait to see those top strikers, all 3 of them hopefully, in action for their countries. That happens on Tuesday. Should be a really fun day of football. Thanks to my guests today, there's Gary Chivers, Frank Khalid, and of course Feroze Ali. We'll be back with episode 4, which sees the likes of Germany, Spain, Belgium and Canada all taken to the field for the first time in the 2022 Qatar World Cup. See you then.